say, for instance, if there was no Trubisky at all in the scenario, would the Steelers gone and got quarterback? Would they have gone and got Kenny Pickett? If the Steelers were to go and get Kenny Pickett, if he's number one, should the Steelers have started Kenny Pickett at number one? And if they did start him at number one, would you have, used Rudolph at number two? That's a big question, because you hadn't used Rudolph the whole season for number two, right? Not at all. So you haven't used Rudolph the whole season, not at all. So essentially, by starting Trubisky, you put him at the bridge quarterback. You thought that Trubisky was going to be bridge, going to help your team out. And then it turns out the Matt Canada system was slow, poor, system was terrible. The players weren't clicking, those kind of things. We got away with a win. We went 1-5, like I said, and things started to fall apart. Coach Tomlin, the owners made a decision, let's put in Kenny Pickett. And from there, you're going to play Pickett. Now he's got hurt twice. And every time he got hurt, you fall back to Trubisky. And he's been shown that he is a better backup than he is a starter in that game against the Bucs where he won the Bucs game. But today, he absolutely, it was awful to see what he was doing, going down the field, feeding the football down the field to everyone, feeding it down the field to everyone, getting a good drive going, and the next minute throwing interceptions. So then it lays the case, what happened to the play of Mason Rudolph? Why is Mason Rudolph even on the team? And it's nothing even against Mason Rudolph. It's the fact is, why is Mason Rudolph on the team? Why are you using him? You're not using him as a backup. You're not using him. You're not even dressing him on game day. You have Kenny Pickett being number one, Trubisky who can't play. And this is the point now, like next week, do they go out and play Mason Rudolph? Do they go out and play Mason Rudolph? But the thing is, you kind of stuffed up throughout the whole season. As I went through the schedule before, Cincinnati won 23-20. The New England beat us 17-14. Cleveland beat us 29-17. New York was beating us 24-20, and then Kenny came in. I think at halftime, Kenny came in, and we lost that game. But Buffalo Bills, Kenny's first start was Buffalo Bills 38-3. Tampa Bay, Kenny got hurt, and Tampa Bay won. We won 2018 with the good play of Trubisky. Miami smashed us 16-10. I think that's when then Kenny threw the pick at the last second to the end zone. Philadelphia smashed us 35-13. Then after the bye, we kind of reset. Kenny reset, and we beat New Orleans 2010. Cincinnati got us to 37-30. Those are some two bad games there. One bad game with Cincinnati. Then we had a bit of a run. Then we had a bit of a hype run. We're like, oh, we can do this. We can do this, right? 24-17 win over the Colts and 19-16 win over Atlanta. Then it all comes full circle because you played Pickett 1, 2, 3, 4 games in a row. He went 3-1 for Pickett. Then we started to play Trubisky. And today he absolutely did nothing. Like, he just turned the football over. He threw the ball away, and that was it. We lost to the Ravens 16-14. That's kind of where our season is after all those things. But the common denominator is we didn't use Rudolph at all. You never saw Rudolph in the equation. And that's what to me is kind of like, what do you do? By not using Rudolph in that equation, you're kind of like, well, why wouldn't you, at the start of the season, if you do draft Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, whoever you draft, go and get a veteran, but he doesn't don't make the veteran start Kenny. Or if you're going to start someone who knows the offense. Start Rudolph and then put Kenny behind him, maybe, until Rudolph starts to play bad. Then change him up. But why bring in a guy like Trubisky, who's been known to be, I guess, moved around a lot, right, with Chicago Bears and Buffalo Bills area, and then came to the Steelers and meant to be, I guess, the saving grace or the bridge guy, didn't work out, and you just let the thing I don't understand. You let Rudolph sit on the bench. You let him sit on the bench, right? And it doesn't make any. There's no purpose. The Steelers had no purpose for him. A bit like how Matt Canada had no purpose for Calvin Austin, even though he was injured, but he was on record saying, he was on record saying that he didn't know how to fit him back into the offense. So is it a Matt Canada thing? Is it a Tomlin thing where they're saying, well, actually, we don't know what to do with Rudolph? But it doesn't make any sense. Like he definitely, I wish him more luck. I'm not going to go follow his team for Rudolph, but I wish him more luck whatever team he goes to. Then I'll support him a little bit, but possibly at the start of the year, and maybe this year's a funny year, if you draft Pickett, maybe you should have started Pickett and then have Rudolph behind him. And if you draft a quarterback, then keep Chris Oladukin at number 3. But what they didn't do that. They went and hurried. Mitchell Trubisky won the job just because he won it. They said, you know what, Trubisky, you have the job. You win it by default. He played bad, put in Kenny, and the rest is now history. And then we went back to Trubisky, and they never played Rudolph. So that to me is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Far out. Jesus Louise.
Coach Stumlin, let's go for the win, man.